I trust I've made myself clear. So it is. Our lives depend on it. Now, repeat my instructions back to me, please. In that case, this will be an easy exercise. Step 1. And next?
Purple, darling. It's the purple seam.
The purple seam indeed. You then have access to the letter and the flute. Continue.
Wrong, I'm afraid. Bottom right.
Quite right. You start at the bottom right corner, and remember to play them clockwise. After that?
Kashi Trachash. The blighter is called Kashi Trachash.
Listen to your friend. It's Kasi Trach Ash. And pay attention to the Trach part. Yeah, back of the throat. And so we have gone through the necessary steps again. Let's hope practice makes perfect in the end. Best of luck with the protocol. May my cold, dead hands soon be refilled with the warmth of life so they can shake yours in gratitude.
This is the flute Gale kept on his person. A faint magical aura envelops its wooden surface.
Bravo! I didn't think you had it in you. Just be grateful that my ears can't bleed. What's to tell? I was sired by a vampire named Cazador. Everything before that is so long ago it's ancient history. And everything that came after, well, I'd rather not reflect on it. I was a magistrate, working to keep the peace in Baldur's Gate, imprisoning troublemakers, that kind of thing. I can't remember much, truth be told. Centuries of torment will do that to you. I was attacked. A gang of vagrants, a tribe of wandering Gur, took issue with a ruling I'd made. They beat me to death's door when Cazador appeared. He chased them off and offered to save me, to give me eternal life. Given that my choices were eternal life or bleed to death on the street, I took him up on the offer. It was only afterwards I realized just how long eternity could be. You know, for all the time I've spent lurking in the shadows, I've never ventured into the Underdark before. Hardly a luxurious setting, but it definitely has its upsides for a vampire. Or its undersides, because it's... well, you know what I mean.
Weapon up ready, lass. Company's calling.
What do we got here? Dead hoon walking, seems like. Got any reason I shouldn't sever your head and toss it to the Rothe?
Another belligerent dwarf? This is getting tiresome.
In that case, let's talk business. Your twat's old friend Nair caused a rockfall, trapped tighter than a hornet's arse.
Couple of known slaves stuck with him too. Little bastards.
But I'm warning you, that twat's soul ain't settled up soon. There'll be hell to pay for the lot of you cult buggers.
We have to free Nair before we can take his head. Sounds like a lot of wasted effort. Let's just do the job and get out of here. All this talk of slaves is just depressing.
Another stick shit!
Piss pot.
You flirt. Now jump to it. or it's up to the lift and straight to the shadows.
Now that's how you motivate the staff.
Shit. You got one of Nair's moon lanterns, Jarg? Pixie lamps. If you're headed to Moonrise, you won't last without it.
Toplands are clogged with the death dark. Choke you in no time.
You daft? It's there in the name. Shadows up there black as the lower dark. A few sniffs could fell an ogre.
If the cure's in Moonrise, we should go. Nair and his lantern be damned. After all, shadows will be the least of our worries if we start to turn. Afraid of the dark, are we? Very well. Let us save Nair, if we must. Excellent. The less time I have to spend with these underdwarves, the better. Ugh. Gods, I never thought I'd be so relieved to find a light in the darkness, or to see so many harpers clanking about. Well, at least you purr for me.
This lantern only lights the way when I am hurting night and day. My pixie dust is bright as day. My injuries can light the way.
It seems like a fitting punishment for a poet.
That you'd be the judge, but I didn't mean to hurt anyone.
Well now, let's not go throwing stones. Glass houses and all that.
Through a narrow crack in the wall, you hear something shift against stone. The pulse of a crawling, living thing. Your awareness unfolds, expanding through every wall in the tower, every mind. A vast living network extending down into the dark, where something wakes.
What in the hell's... Oh no, not again.
It's a trap.
Tendrils snap like iron cords around your wrist. That presence in your mind looms large, closer now. You stop resisting, your arm bending with the movement of the flesh, and suddenly an opening appears. With a soft sucking sound, your hand pulls free. The flesh within the wall retreats.
Oh, thank goodness. I was worried I'd have to get involved. Now, let's keep our hands to ourselves,
Again, the sickening slither of flesh on stone, barely an arm's length away. There is no hesitation this time. The tendrils lash out like a waiting predator. The tendrils tighten, and suddenly you are elsewhere.
What's happening? Speak to me! Wake up! Thank goodness. I was almost worried. Clingy little shit, this Absolute. And she wants to meet.
You endanger the sick!
Serve.
Oh, that's grotesque. Don't stare. you'll only encourage it.
Twist 'em up!
It's you! Our little idol thief from the Druid's Grove.
Oh, you're a patient. This is the children's ward. Triage is back that way.
Is that Arabella's father she's tending? Our little idol thief has some terrible luck. Arabella?
Hey! I had a feeling you'd show up. It's sort of our thing, like it's fate or something.
Ferocious-looking beast. Although your stuffing might be leaking. Wait, that bear! Darkmoor the Wicked! The terror of Cloakwood! You stole away more children than any vampire. And look at you now. A fearsome hunter reduced to this. Rawr! Poor beast. It probably only wanted a cuddle. It's big, but still young. Heavens help the hunter if its mother caught them. Is that blood on the shelves? Probably cold and congealed. Oof. The ogres can't hear me, and I can't smell them. A fair trade, I'd say.
You haven't told them, and you've kept your clothes on this whole time. How unlike you. Why not let them see? Don't be shy.
God damn it.
Don't pout, Spawn. Just destroy the beast, and I'll happily reveal your secrets instead of your skin.
Yes, fine. We'll kill this damn creature of yours.
Then we have an understanding. I look forward to our next meeting.
Well, now you know. Perhaps I should have. But I'm not used to asking for help and being met with, well, help. But what's done is done. So how about we stop discussing it and just kill this beast? Although I should probably get dressed first. You never asked me to take my shirt off. I always thought they were a sign of my humiliation. I never realized there might be more to them. But Raphael told us he can make the impossible come true. I have to try my luck. I don't trust him. He doesn't trust me. We are using one another for our mutual benefit. You should try it sometime. Thank you. Honestly, though, I was just trying not to think about them. But there's a lead now. I used to just be sickened, thinking it was his sadistic pleasure. But there's more. There was method to it. The depravity of the act was a distraction. I have to get to the truth of it. Well, if you must know, I'm actually a Princess of House Nightstar, and I'm married to a Tarask named Jonathan. Anything else you'd like to know?
And the heart-stopping bloodsucker. Ever since our last liaison, I haven't been able to get you out of my mind.
Nor have I, no matter how hard I try. Now you're happy to leave if I'm uncomfortable? Huh. How novel. I'm fine. Let's just get this over with.
Nervous to see me again, is he? How sweet. And the heart-stopping bloodsucker. I hope you've changed your mind. My neck is yours, anytime.
And I will keep refusing until the end of time. I'm done bowing to the whims of others.
Never say never.
Oh, she doesn't bother me that much. If anything, I pity her.
Fie. Such cruel words.
I appreciate the thought, truly. But if this is something you want to look into, well, hearing her out won't kill us. Well, death never stopped me before. I don't know why it should now. Don't worry, I can tolerate her. I would like to see her dead in a ditch, but I can tolerate this.
Such harsh words for an old friend.
I appreciate the thought. But I'm not the person I was last time we met. And if she can unlock the kind of power she's promising, well, hearing her out won't kill us. Don't worry, if anything happens, I'll protect you.
All you have to do is drink Formula Gruner.
I trust you haven't forgotten what happened when I drank something she offered. This formula won't be any kinder to you. If that's her formula I can smell, it's even fouler than her blood. Oof, gods below. Say no. The only thing she's offering is pain. And I don't want to see you hurt. I don't care what he's offering. I wouldn't have been so quick to sign with the devil. Then again, it's not my name on the page, so what should I care? Useful as the hammer would have been, I'm relieved we're not in the devil's debt. Once his kind has you under their thumb, they won't ever let you go.
Normal citizens strung
Mizora
up
has
to
a
die
shrine
by the
within the
city.
city, located in the Storm Shore Tabernacle, if my memory serves me.
Do whatever you need to, but I shan't be paying my respects to any of the gods on show.
You never felt the call of the divine, Astarion?
Oh, I tried them all. None of them answered.
A stream of pure, undiluted weave. I only have to reach out, and it will carry me to Mizora, wherever she may be.
Well, go on then. It's rude to keep a goddess waiting. So, Gale's hedging his bets with Mizora? I can't say I blame him. Who'd want to hold a power like the crown of Karsus in their hands just to hand it to someone else? I know what my decision would be, but we're all different, of course. So, Gale's agreed to be a good boy and hand the crown over to Mizora. I can't say I would have made the same call, but each their own.
Mother Superior, Lyconia Devere.
You still have the wits to recognize your betters. Good. Now descend. You have much to answer for.
An astral projection. Clever girl. She's not taking any chances. We shouldn't either. I hope you don't make a habit of betraying your traveling companions. Not that I wouldn't understand, respect it even, but it does leave one a little nervous. I'm almost tempted to tell Shadowheart what she did, to see if I can jog her memory. I doubt Shah would take too kindly to anyone meddling in her little project, though. So, Shadowheart chose her family over her god. I hope she doesn't come to regret it. Shadowheart's parents are at peace, and so she, it seems. Credit where it's due. Shadowheart is tenacious, and tough pain can break anyone. But she bore it well, and got what she wanted. Even if she's damned herself to a lifetime of that same pain. Cazador always warned us to stay clear of this neighborhood. Never said why, though.
The last spawn who tried was sunk into the cobblestones and left for the sun to find. I had an unfortunate taste for theatrics in my youth.
Yes. That was probably it.
May Seluna's tears shine on this meeting.
I understand, Geraldus. Take a moment. And you, Harper. There is something familiar about you. Doesn't she remind you of our old friend Marcus?
Jaheira's meaning is clear. Marcus was a traitor laying a trap. The same, it seems, is happening here.
To most people, a rather old-fashioned greeting. To a Harper, a signal that there are shape-changers in our midst.
So much for the cavalry riding to our rescue. This is what we get for putting our faith in a network of spies, I suppose. You know, I never dreamed our noble Jaheira would be such a terrible, terrible mother. It's nice to see heroes are as awful as the rest of us,
It is a ritual, or it describes one at least, practiced by druids of certain esoteric circles. If they be learned and powerful enough, the practitioner of this ritual might slow their aging, extend their life well beyond its natural reach. In greener days, I might have been strong enough to do it. I might be yet, with the right preparations. Any druid. So, yes, you might aspire to it if you wished, but the scroll is not the ritual itself. Only part of my research into how it is worked. Do not look at me like that. I have been content to see the span of my natural years. A privilege far too few in this world can claim. I do not speak of clinging to life for its own sake, I just look back on that life's work and I wonder, is it done? Knowing that, isn't it our duty to burn on if we can? To fight for as long as we are able?
Immortality is only as good as the life you're living. An eternity of luxury sounds a lot better than an eternity of struggle.
I'd have thought time would dull either. But I suppose I should know better than to argue with an immortal.
Jaheira has steel in her, I'll say that. It's not easy to walk away from immortality. Most people will have held on to that scroll for as long as they could bear to, and probably a century or two longer than that. I don't like getting caught between the guild and the Zentarim. You always make enemies when you take sides in a struggle like that. And in this case, they're enemies we might not see coming until it's too late.
You were excellent in battle, as is your way. And I am proud to fight at your side.
I expected Nightsong to be overjoyed after killing her fair-haired fool. Instead, she just seemed tired. not what I expected. There was a sense of emptiness. Maybe it's just hard to see someone else suffer the same thing. It feels unfair. Like justice denied. Still, it's done. That's what matters. Hardly. It's going to be the greatest moment of my life. The blood, the screaming. Just thinking about it makes me smile.
My friend from the Hag Swamp. You join us as we honor our fallen dead. You're a bright light on a dark day. Even you, my erstwhile quarry.
Oh, hello again. I feel we're intruding. We should leave quickly.
Calm yourself. You will not be harmed. Our leader has called off the hunt. She wishes to speak to you.
So, the impossible spawn walks among us in the blazing sun. We have been looking for you.
I have to admit, I don't love sitting down for a chat with people who've relentlessly hunted me.
I am offering an olive branch. Do not knock it aside so quickly. The last time your friend came to our camp, he stole our children, our future.
When I was hunting you, I was to bring you back here, interrogate you, discover how to save our children, and then destroy you.
I spent 200 years bringing him victims. Each and every one was whisked away to be fed on that night.
I know our plight is grim, but if there is even a chance to save them, we must take it.
You recognize the funeral rites of the Gur people, the same monster hunters you met in the Hag Swamp. Their leader is burning the possessions of those who have fallen.
So, the impossible spawn walks among us in the blazing sun. We have been looking for you.
Yes, I remember your friend, and how he was left trudging around a swamp.
Hello again, my erstwhile quarry. I did not think to see you here, of all places.
Hey, you! It's you, isn't it? I remember that stupid hair.
Behind the glowing eyes and pallid skin, you recognize the faces of the children you took from the Gur hunters' camp on Cazador's orders.
You better watch out. Our parents will be here soon. And when they find you, they'll...
You know that pain well. She's feeling the same hunger that's plagued you for 200 years.
What? What are you looking at? You! It can't be. You're the one that did this to us. You're the one that took us and offered us up to be Cazador's spawns. But did you have to kidnap us? We were supposed to be hunters. We spent our whole lives training, studying. You were the one we were supposed to kill. Now we're no better than you. Worse. At least you get to roam free. You want to free us? Why? You're not kidding? Huh. So what are you waiting for? Let us out! Good luck. If you fail, well, I suppose we'll be seeing you again. In here.
You killed one vampire, but released 7,000 of his spawn. Have you lost all sense?
They were innocents. To kill them would have been an even greater crime. But if you ever decide to hunt them, know they include your children.
They survived?
Well, that depends on how you define survived, really. But they are free. They're making their way into the Underdark as we speak.
This is difficult news. We will need to decide what it means. Thank you for what you have done. Slaying Cazador was a great justice. As for the rest, well, time will tell. I had hoped to avoid this path. I had hoped you would choose the better road. A fool I was to ever hope a beast like you could be saved.
Oh, please. There's no need for such language. I promised you Cazador's death, and I more than delivered. I even killed a few thousand spawn whilst I was at it. You should be thanking me for saving you the trouble.
There is no greater or lesser. There is only evil. And it stands before me.
Look at the hate in their eyes. They won't ever stop hunting me.
We gave you a choice, and you chose power, as your kind always does. But I still have hope for you, that you will make a better choice. Will you stand against evil? Will you help us destroy this monster? Then you are as much a monster as he. Kill them. Kill them all.
My children. My sweet ones. What have they done to you?
I'm hungry, Father. I'm so hungry. It hurts, Father. The hunger. It never stops.
Please, do you know of anything that can be done? I've been fighting it, but I think you're right. Better that than they start feeding off humans.
One more mark, then we can go.
The Master said we have enough. The Black Mass is ready to begin.
It's not for the Master. It's for me. I want a beating heart there, ready for me when the Mass is complete. And we're finally granted our freedom. After 200 years of rats, I think we deserve a real drink.
There is no time. We are expected back at the palace.
Relax. The Black Mass won't start until Master drags Astarion from whatever hole he's hiding in. We have time to find one more person. What did you say?
Of course not. We were merely discussing a celebration to be held in the palace of Cazador Zar.
You should come! It'll be the talk of Baldur's Gate. As if you know anything about it.
Come, brother. We have wasted enough time.
So it seems. I just need a minute. Then we can go. The Master plans to expand his territory.
You listening?
Take Candlekeep.
Vampire spawn turned into mist. Didn't know they could do that.
They can turn into mist now. I'm not the only one with new tricks. Cazador promised you your freedom, and you believed him? Ha! You were never burdened with intelligence, Petras. But your load seems especially light these days.
Astarion! It cannot be.
Oh, that's no way to welcome back a brother, doll. Didn't you miss me?
Why would you come back? You got out. You were free.
Of course that's why he came crawling back. He wants to ascend with the rest of us. He heard about the ritual and the power our master will grant us, so he came back with his tail between his legs, hoping all would be forgiven.
You always were an idiot, Petras.
No!
Why does Cazador need me? What is he planning?
Brother! Please!
You heard them. Tell me what I need to know. Now!
The Master is preparing the Black Mass. Beneath his palace. There's a defiled chapel. It was hidden there the entire time. Hidden from us all.
Keep talking.
The Black Mass. It will be his triumph. He'll complete the ritual and emerge the Vampire Ascendant. He'll walk in the sun. He'll be free of the hunger. He'll wield power no vampire has ever possessed. Best of all, we'll join him. His loyal servants walking in the light as living vampires. We'll be free, brother.
You can't believe that. You can't be that stupid.
We deserve this, Astarion. Can't you see? We've given him everything. Our blood and tears. And he's finally going to reward us. And you will be with us when the time comes. It's fate, written in your very flesh.
Yes, and they'll be trembling in fear when they tell him. They're no threat to us. And they have no choice but to do Cazador's bidding. I pity them. Still, though, a living vampire. Who wouldn't be interested? It's the ultimate freedom. Freedom from the hunger. Freedom to live a real life in the sun. No temple required. And if I were to ascend instead of him, freedom from Cazador, once and for all. Well, it might be. And there's only one way to find out. I have to know. I have to face him. I knew I was right about you. You're a true friend. And now we know he's skulking beneath his palace. We can take the hunt to Cazador. All right, let's go. This place stinks of rat blood and despair.
We'll leave for the Black Mass soon. I only need one more mark.
We don't need another. The Master said we have enough.
It's not for the Master. It's for me. I spent 100 years eating rats and dogs. But soon, I'll be free to feast. I want someone there, ready for me. Once the Mass is done, and our Master grants us our freedom, I'll want a drink.
Cazador promised you freedom. And you believed him. Ha!
Astarion! It cannot be.
But it is, and as arrogant as ever. As if you'd know the first thing about the Master's plans. He's going to give us freedom. He's going to give us power.
Not if I kill him first. I just need to know where this black mass is happening.
Kill the Master? It's not possible.
You can't raise a hand to the Master, let alone kill him.
You have no idea what I can do. Tell me what I need to know, or I swear you'll burn.
Astarion, please! I'll tell you everything. Just release him.
There's a defiled chapel under the Master's palace. Hidden there the entire time. That's where he's preparing the Black Mass.
What the hell's happened to you? What are you?
I'm Cazador's doom.
Whatever changed you, brother, whatever you have become, the Master still wants you. He will not stop looking for you.
We'll see you soon, Astarion. I'm going to remember this.
You sleep, but the wicked don't. Someone is here to disturb your rest.
Get the hells away from me!
Peace, brother. We're here to take you home.
The Master needs all 7 of us for the ceremony. Come with us and be reborn. We'll live again.
The rite. The Master needs him. He must attend.
What a lovely invitation, but I'm afraid I'll have to decline. I intend to kill him, you see.
We will live again, Astarion. The scars on our backs are sealed with the cruelest power. 7 spawn, 7 sigils.
You're number 7, the final piece of the rite. He needs us all for the Black Mass.
Our fates were sealed in his writing long ago. A promise to his favorite spawn, fulfilled in the crypt beneath his palace. This is our only chance to be free, to end centuries of slavery. You will not ruin it, Astarion.
This needs to end. One way or another. They mentioned my scars and are right. I need to get to that crypt and find out what these damn markings are really for.
You're back in the kennel, where you spent 10 days being tortured by Cazador's sadistic servant, Godi.
Nasty little runaway. But you always find your way back to Godi. If I had my way, I'd saw off your legs. That'd put a stop to your wandering. But the Master says no. Says he needs all of your blood on the inside for the Mass. But he needs you obedient too. No bucking, no biting, no struggling. A well-behaved little doggy. You think you're free? Then let's tighten your chain.
All that you've seen since the crash, all the wonders and horrors suddenly seem inconsequential. Only one thing matters. Cazador, your master, your lord, your creator. His will tightens around you once again, and it is as if you never escaped him. Cazador's presence fills your mind like blood in a blister. Once inside, it seeks a vulnerability to exploit, a weakness to latch onto, and it finds nothing. You expel him from your mind as if he were an unpleasant clot in a fine vintage.
Impossible! You're a spawn! Know your place!
Bizarre signet ring. I've never seen it up close. There's even some chicken scratch inscription on here, in God knows what language, though I have seen it somewhere before. I know you're there, Dolly. Stop skulking and show yourself.
You always were sharp, little one. Sharp enough to cut.
It's taking everything I have not to grind your rotten carcass to dust.
Don't be mad at Cody, child. I only did my job. Only kept you in line.
You tortured us. For days at a time.
Oh, yes. And you sang so sweetly for me. None of the others screamed like you did. But if you're not here to see Gody, why are you here, little one?
Isn't it obvious? I'm going to kill Cazador.
How dare you? As if you could lay a finger on the master, you ungrateful little brat! Gody will not let you get away with blasphemy. Gody will see you punished! You can't be here. No one in, no one out.
You're new. Cazador never kept guard dogs before.
The runaway spawn. You reek of the Master's scent. Come with us. Come to Master.
Excuse me? I will not be ordered around my own house by some blow-in mutt.
We bring you to him. We get his favor.
Who are these wretches?
You. I know you.
I recognize that voice. You were in the Blushing Mermaid.
You smiled and joked and got me drunk. You called me so many sweet things. My name sounded like a lyric on your tongue. I want to hear you say it again. Say my name.
Among the scars on his face is one that is recognizable, identical to one of the runes carved into Astarion's back.
That scar. Cazador did that to you. He bound you to the Black Mass.
No more games. Say my name.
Sebastian.
You still make it sound so beautiful. You were my first. And my last.
I can put this right. I swear. I'm here to stop the Black Mass. To kill Cazador.
Kill that monster? You can't. It's impossible.
Tell me where he is, and I swear I'll end him.
The Grand Chamber. His staff controls everything. If you can get it, maybe you can free us. Hurry, please.
Gods above. He kept Sebastian. I feel ill. All the fools and villains who ever fell for my ploys, they're here. He didn't do anything at all. I can't say the same of all my victims. There's only one reason they'd all still be here. He must need them for the ritual. Each of the 7, we must have brought in 1,000 over the decades. They're all lambs for his slaughter. And if I was to take his place, they'd all die by my hand. Everyone, whoever trusted me enough to let down their guard, innocents, idiots, and the unlucky. It doesn't matter. I will need to sacrifice them all if I want to perform the ritual. Thank you. Yes. This will all be over soon. It's just sickening. Seeing them again. I don't know what else.
Who stands before us? Is this truly our prodigal son? Do not slouch before me, boy. Have you no respect for yourself? Look at you, crawling back after abandoning your family. You should be begging our forgiveness.
Forgiveness? You've never forgiven anything. Every mistake, every slip was punished.
I strove for perfection in all things, even those as imperfect as you. A pity you amounted to so little, despite my efforts.
No! No. Fuck you. And fuck everything you've ever done to me!
Oh, thankless child. Did I not bless you with our immortal gift? Did I not make you what you are?
You son of a bitch.
You truly forgot my power. You truly thought our bond as creator and creation was all that stopped you from killing me. You are weak, my child. You are a small, pathetic little boy who never amounted to anything. But today, you will finally do something worthwhile. You will burn, and I will ascend. Even now, you resist? Very well. But you will not stop my ascent? Ecce Dominus!
Here lies Astarion's tormentor, the one who's haunted his nightmares all this time.
Get your hands off me, worm!
I'm not the one in the dirt. One last thrust, and I'll be free of you. I'll never have to fear you again.
And then will you be without me? A shade? A spectre in the shadow? Devoid of all purpose?
You might have made me what I am, but I can be so much more than what you created me to be. But I am grateful for one thing. You showed me how to really savor moments like this.
Is it over? Is he...
Yes. He's gone.
What does that mean for us?
It means you have a choice. You can hide here, living in the shadows like parasites. Or you could be more than what he made us to be. You can choose differently, of course. But the consequences are on your head.
And what does it mean for them?
The poor wretches in the cells are innocent. They shouldn't have to suffer just because I lured them here. They'll need someone to lead them. Take the tunnels into the Underdark. Find somewhere, well, not safe, but less perilous.
What? No, we can't!
Just try to keep them out of trouble. It's strange. Knowing I'll never hear Cazador's voice again. Knowing it'll never command me to bow against my will. I'm free from him. Forever. Invigorating. Terrifying. All of the above. I'm still trying to understand it, really. What do you mean, dead? How? Why? Because he was my master? Or because you thought I couldn't resist finishing the ritual myself? I do believe you. I know you only did what you thought was best for me. And who knows, maybe this is what's best. The kind of power that ritual offered could ruin a person. Even me. Gods, I would have liked to kill him, though. You're so good to me. Still, This will take some getting used to. Cazador being gone. I just need some time to let it sink in. To figure out what it means now that he's gone. Thank you. And thank you for what you did. I thought Cazador's story would end with more of a bang than a whimper, but, well, you did end it. I'm grateful. They were alive. All this time, they were just hidden under the palace. Hells. After 2 centuries, Cazador still had new horrors to reveal. What did you do with the poor wretches? I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. What I could have done, even. I just need some space. I'm sure this will all start to sink in soon. I thought things would feel different when he was gone. That I'd be reveling in my freedom. Instead, I just feel blank. I suppose not wielding the blade myself makes a difference. It's all a little anticlimactic. Cazador took up so much room in my life. My memories of him, my need for revenge. Now there's just a blank space where he used to be. Assuming I have a life to build, it's a little hard to plan anything knowing there's still a tadpole burrowing its way through your brain. Controlling them may still be an option, but it's a dangerous game. I'd live with the risk of something going wrong, of the tadpole finding some new trick, reasserting itself, and making me a slave again. Maybe never seeing the sun again is just the price of freedom. Less giving up, more reassessing what I want. What I really want. Hello, darling. I was just thinking about freedom. We've dealt with the parasite, and you dealt with Cazador. I'll never be in someone's power again.
You would not dare!
I would. And I will. You will be consumed, and all the power you've lusted after will be mine. Help me do this. Please.
Your minds join and your two selves become one. You can feel the knife in your hand, see the scars on his back, and taste his hunger for power.
Yes. Yes. I see it.
What are you doing? Don't! Ah!
Oh, no! Oh, no! No! There. Perfect.
Ungrateful child!
Wretched child! Time to take your place. Ecce Dominus, has animas offero in sacrificio.
What are you doing? All those people, Astarion, stop!
Don't you dare! I can feel their power flowing into me! Nunc volo potestantem quam policitus es mihi! That ache in my stomach, that hunger, it's gone. I'm free. I'm finally free! Oh! Oh, it feels delicious. I think the answer to that is whatever they damn well please! Come on, let's get out of here. I have a brand new world to explore. This is it. The hopeless dream dreamt by all of my kind. I am the greatest vampire to ever walk this land. Even the Pale Knight would have knelt before me. Everything has changed. I felt so very little for so long. My edges dulled over the numb years rotting in the boudoir and kennels. Now, I can hear it at last. See it at last. How all the lowly creatures of this plane are begging to serve. How to call upon them. Scurrying footpads in their safe houses. Rats below our feet in their filthy holes. The crows in the night above! They will obey. And you too. I can tell. Your heartbeat races. You hold your breath while I speak. You await my command. The world will stir in fear. Everything will be ours. Everything. I already hear the world whispering in sweet surrender. And I feel alive. I can face anything now. Let's get back to the hunt. I can't believe you let me do that. Kill those people a pleasant surprise? Well, what's done is done. And there's simply no point in dwelling on the past, is there? No. You have given me a glorious new future. And one wicked turn deserves another. So tell me what you desire. What can I do for my dearest pet? Truly? And what was I supposed to learn from this? Please. Everything is about power. Sex, relationships, violence. They're all just different forms of control. And now you think you can stand there and tell me how to feel because what? Because you care? Your hands are as bloody as mine, darling. Why would you go along with any of this just to pretend you're innocent now? It seems I misjudged you. I thought we might have a future together, even an eternity. But perhaps you're not worthy. So, what's it to be, darling? Is this it? Of course we can. You're the one that I want. The one that I love. And you could be so much more if you wanted. One little bite, and you could be mine forever. My dark consort. My right hand. My most beloved spawn. And you will. All in good time. But we mustn't rush these things. You may need time to adjust. Shall we have one last night together, before you join me in immortality? One for the road, so to speak. Then come with me, my love, and live your final night. On your knees, darling.
He will always see you as degrading yourself if you continue to be with him. But perhaps you wish to degrade yourself, and he knows it.
Tonight, I shall drink every drop of your blood, own your body, kill your mind. It will only hurt a bit. The pleasure will be far greater than the pain. have given me everything. Thank you.
As he drinks more and more, you feel yourself fading from consciousness. When you wake again, you will be his forevermore.
You are so beautiful. And you will be beautiful forever. Thank you for trusting me. You were drained dry, and at the height of your delirium, I granted you 1 drop of my own blood. Things will be a touch different for you than they were for me when I was a spawn. I'm imbued with unfathomable new talents. I'm fairly certain I can extend Mephistopheles' blessings unto you. You need not fear anything. You will be stronger, swifter, sharper, but you won't be different. You're already perfect before. It's hard to improve. As for me, well, you probably expect me to turn into a sea of mist, run wrong side up on roofs, and to call on legions of wolves in battle. This will all happen in due time. But for now, patience is required. I hear the whispers of the night, but I can't yet speak its language. It's going to take a while to become acquainted with my new self. Have I? It's possible. I think my instincts have become so quick that the world around me can't catch up. Everything is moving at a grinding pace. I feel like I will live thousands of hours every day. Everything lies ahead. I can see my path to a waking dream. From the Crimson Palace, I will govern day and night. Create a city of spawn who bow before me, cast a fog over the world for my children. I wish we could retreat into our palace already and spend a decade in each other's arms. But first, we must manage the trifling matter of the brain. Perhaps it will listen to us. Perhaps it too will serve. Love, look what's in front of your very eyes. We could have everything. Baldur's Gate is a city of opportunity like no other, and I don't intend to let one like this pass us by. My consort. We are so close to our triumph, I can almost taste it. You want to talk? That's very cute. Spawn is an ugly word. I really do prefer consort. Don't you worry. You have supped of my blood. It will be no trouble to extend a fragment of my protection to you. Just don't stray too far. But you'd never dream of doing that, would you? Why would I need to? You're going to be wonderfully obedient. As much as I wish to sequester you in a deep chamber of my palace and keep you all to myself, there's much to be done. First, we'll take Baldur's Gate. Then, we'll take the world. We'll dominate it until the sun itself melts. And then we'll give ourselves to the night. Of course I will. And you'll drink mine. I can't wait to taste your lips after you've tasted me. Why in the hell's you bothering me now? Just so you know, I have everything I ever wanted. Everything lies ahead. I can see my path to a waking dream. From the Crimson Palace I will govern day and night. Create a city of spawn who bow before me. Cast a fog over the world for my children. You refused riches beyond belief. The world would have knelt before us united. Very soon I will discover how to call my legions of wolves, become a sea of mist, run wrong side up on roofs. Everything vampires do best. You could have too. What a waste. I was pathetic then. What do you mean? Why would you say that? You will regret leaving me. More than anything you live to regret. There's no use in us fighting any longer, is there? You are a person of rare talent. You aided greatly in my conquest, even if you did not end up a part of it. And if we were beholden to one another, well, how is that too different to being enslaved? It is for the best. I was trying with you, you know. In the only way I can try. The gravest crimes committed in this world are committed for love. A hunger crueler than bloodlust. I know how to play with it. And I can't resist playing the hand I know. I would have ruined your love. Used your trust until you were nothing. So, for what it's worth, in the end I respect you for making the choice you did. I never thought you had it in you. I hope, if not partners, we may be partners in crime yet. Not a skill that's cropped up in my newly found repertoire. I probably need to read some tome to figure out how. But I will ensure our little mission to defeat the brain succeeds. You can count on me for that.
Let's make our pact anew. A divine oath, sworn upon spirit and flesh. I do no harm to you, nor you to me. Together we rule Faerun as kings. No, more than kings. Gods. We rule as the absolute.
What do you say? Shall we be allies?
An ally could be useful, at least for now. And when he's no longer useful, well, we can dispose of him then.
Then let it be writ by the black hand of Bane. I, Lord Enver Gortash, swear I shall do you no harm. We will rise together over Toriel as a roaring sun. let me demonstrate why you made the right choice. Your camp is compromised. One among you is an imposter, a faceless. Who, I can't say. I'd suggest a thorough investigation. You'll find I speak the truth.
A shapeshifter? It could be anyone. I mean, it's not me, but it could be anyone else.
Calmness greets you as the submersible slows to a halt. Unlike the Iron Throne, you remain intact. So it seems will the families of all the hostages rescued from the throne.
God, that was close. I could almost kiss the boards here, but... well, that would be disgusting.
Wait! Elevator gyroscopes, triple-set quadrupex. No, it can't be. I hear it through the floor. Powerful, indestructible. The ultimate watcher. The Titan.
Of course, they built an indestructible super watcher. Why wouldn't they? I don't relish the idea of Mizora visiting our camp, let alone offering us anything resembling a deal. When the devils start approaching you, you know you're in deep.
I am now the Blade of Avernus. For as long as demons and devils imperil the Sword Coast, they will be my prey.
So, the Blade of Frontiers is dead. Long live the Blade of Avernus. I just hope he stays focused on battling infernal forces. The undead have it hard enough already. Well, Grand Duke Ravengard. A position like that comes with a lot of wealth and luxury. If you survive long enough to enjoy it. Wyll gave up freedom to save his father. I will never understand people like that. Wyll gave up his father to have freedom. An understandable decision. Sacrifices must be made after all. Especially if the old Duke's fall means his rise.
The pleasure of torment. The torment of pleasure. One taste, one indulgence, but the delicious agony remains. A pity for you, the one taste is all I'll give.
Well, I hope I'm not interrupting.
Astarion? What a pleasant surprise. I must have drawn more blood than I intended. I think I'll nip out for a bit, let you two lovebirds chirp. Who would I be to meddle in personal affairs?
And what do you have to say for yourself? Well, of course I would have. Sweet hells, it's not every day you can do a horizontal dance with a devil. So, what was it like? Tell me everything. It happens, my dear. Best not to dwell on it. Not if you can move on to the next conquest. If you want healthy advice, go talk to a druid. I'm just telling you what works. Well, works. Might be putting it a little strong, but it makes it feel less terrible at least. Well, of course it meant nothing. She's a devil. She's hardly going to fall in love. Were you actually worried I was angry? Oh, you sweet little thing. I'm not going to abandon a feast just because someone else had a nibble. So, what was it like? Tell me everything. Afterwards you felt empty, alone, ashamed. It happens, my dear. Best not to dwell on it. Not if you can move on to the next conquest. Well, no, not particularly. But it's better than facing up to it, at least. It was a mistake. You didn't invite me. So, what was it like? Tell me everything. So do I. I've never tried my hand at seducing a devil. Just remember to fetch me next time. I'd hate to think you were holding out on me. Well, of course I'm jealous. It's not every day you can do a horizontal dance with a devil. So, what was it like? Tell me everything. It does sound divine. You'll have to catch me up on all the gory details later.
And is that your partner with you? What a gorgeous couple. Perhaps we could come to an agreement.
Enjoy yourself, of course. But I dearly hope you aren't only having sex because we haven't in a while.
If your beloved one wants to join, we could work out something to our mutual satisfaction.
2 of us? 2 of you? 4 gorgeous people.
Sorry, Pet. I'm not quite comfortable with doing this again yet. Ugh, don't be so nice to me. It makes me want to be nice back.
You have but to ask, and we can grant you a moment of pleasure. Don't be shy.
An intriguing pair. Takes me back to my youth. More than interested, if you feel the same.
Well, there are 2 of us, aren't there? Use your imagination.
I'd like to try doing things like this again. Now I'm free to find my own desires. And don't worry, I'll dart out if I don't enjoy it, faster than I used to run from the sun.
Perhaps you'd care for a little extra company. Oh, I suspect we shall be more than merry.
Quite the merry little party we have assembled here.
In Cruella's all custom from our home, groups of 5 or more meet quorum to qualify as orgies. 4 or fewer are simply a gathering, legally speaking at least.
The lady, Nim, moves your hand to where the clasps of her blouse lie.
All right, sweethearts. You dare to dance with a professional. You'll get your desire.
His skin is like lustered pearls, almost translucent and so delicately smooth.
He's so perfect. It could move even the toughest soul to tears.
Nature used all of its powers when it sculpted you, Astarion.
It's so easy to see why that body alone ruined so many lives.
You're looking at me rather curiously. Speak up. Tell us what you want to do. I wish to dream. drink. And to be drunk. I hope you like a kiss with teeth, druid.
As long as you like to be caressed by claws, Astarion.
For this, I feel we should be paying you.
Astarion lavishes attentions on everyone present with flawless technique, unfazed. It's all pure instinct, but when you meet his eye for a moment, there's a look about him that reveals he's a million realms away.
So, we kill Gortash, or Halsin dies. It is not an easy call. On the one hand, killing Gortash would be fun. On the other, Halsin can be very annoying. We probably should save the druid, though. He does have his uses. So, we kill Gortash, or Gale dies. It is not an easy call. On the one hand, killing Gortash would be fun. On the other, Gale can be very annoying. We probably should save the wizard, though. He does have his moments. You almost pity Orin, taking Lae'zel like that. Give her half a chance, and she'll rip out the shapeshifter's spine. If the shape-changer wants Gortash dead, then let's kill Gortash and get Yenna back. Not that I care, it's just that children have a habit of disappearing in the city. Let's not let any more slip away.
Notice some blood has pooled on the wooden floor. You notice the blood's source, a body hidden under the bed. The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Murdered by my son?
It's to be expected. Some families just don't get along. I know the look is meant to be very murder-heavy, but it's a bit much, even for me. The Amulet of Baal. It's hardly a triumph of fashion, but it does have its uses.
My chosen, my slayer, violence incarnate. You will become a testament in blood. Go, child of Baal. Claim the crown of Caucasus. Control the absolute. And command a horde fit to butcher this world in my name.
Jaheira, must it truly be this way?
The path was not of our choosing, Minsk. But we must walk it all the same. What about you? Will you protect the world from what she has become?
I really hoped we could avoid being pawns for a dark god. But here we are, I suppose. I'm with you, my dear. Wherever this leads. It seems the father issues are only just beginning, eh? The choice is made. You'll never stop killing. You're going to sit nicely in my lap, perhaps naked, as I give orders to our nocturnal horde from my palace throne. Baal's army will be an unsurpassable dowry. I cannot wait for you to claim it. The child of Baal. I'm glad Papa has blessed our dirty little plot. The choice is made. You'll never stop killing. I lived through the downfall of Saravok. I'll believe in the rise of Baal when I see it. If the only way to control his possession is to bow to it, I suppose that is how it must be. Baal himself has sentenced you to an eternity of madness, to be consumed by your urge. You'll never be free, will you? He's going to take over. I've had periods where I was so hungry, I was all but robbed of speech and reason. If you become, as I fear, feral, scrabbling, all but a carrion creature, I don't think I'll be able to look at you. It'll remind me too much of my worst self, if that is to be your fate. I will, enjoy our time together while it lasts. But soon enough, we'll have to say our goodbyes. In 1,000 years, when I've all but forgotten how to love yet again, you'll flit back into my heart. And I'll weep, wondering what happened to my mad love.
The sole way to atone for thine actions is to do better in a new dawn. That dawn has come.
He's right. You're no monster. You've saved me more times than I can count.
The heart of a savior hath overshadowed the mind of a murderer. Thou hast vanquished thine urge. Today thou art born anew.
You get to start over. To be the person you want to be, not what someone else made you to be. That orb's going to blow, and soon.
Before you do anything, I am your ally. We are in danger.
Another tentacled freak. What in the hells is this?
Thank you. That was too close. I am a mind flayer, yes. Without me, you would be a slave to the Absolute.
I owe everything to that. Oh, I don't like this one bit. So, we owe our lack of tentacles to one of the very creatures that kidnapped us. At least you showed it what you thought of its offer. Nicely done. Don't look at me like that. I know what you're going to say. The answer is no. No. That was before I knew the cost. Before I knew it meant transforming into some grotesque beast. I remember how it hurt when I turned into a vampire. My body writhed and warped while I was utterly helpless. The grip of death owned my heart as it beat its last. I don't want to turn into anything else. I can't do that again. I can't watch my body be taken over. It isn't about the pain, it's about being beholden to the tadpole's influence. If we master the tadpoles, it will be different. But right now, that mastery depends on an Illithid and its Githyanki slave. I am not. I just don't want to lose my God's given good looks, really. Wouldn't that be a crime? I'm really not sure.
As you pick apart his mind, you discover his worst memory, that which brings him the purest terror. Complete solitude after being disobedient, sealed, buried alive, voiceless. Will this be forever? A year of horror, then the release. He will never disobey again.
Damn it. Damn you. All right. I'll do it.
Life pulses from within. The parasite's thoughts whisper at the edge of your mind. It wants to share itself with you. It wants to be let in.
Go on. Don't be afraid. It only wants to help you evolve. Commune with it. You'll see. It only wants to help you. Disappointing. You have lowered our chances of success with your actions.
Oh shit. Did I do something wrong? Why? What's changed? Oh, come off. You're wonderful. I don't care what you look like. What you cannot do is make my decisions for me. I've had more than enough of that in my life. I bet I still get more stares walking down the street than you. I am. And beautiful. Not enough people mention that. I'm not going anywhere. I may be guilty of a bit of embellishment here and there, but I'm no liar. When I vowed we'd save you, we will save you. This little adventure of ours has taught me that we can't let our lives be ruled by fear, or else we never really live. I'm not afraid. Not of you. Not of your darkness, and not of our future. Cazador used his tortures to strike terror into me. But I've rarely been more afraid than on the night when I feared Baal had claimed you for good. But I trust you won't kill me. And if you do, then I've gotten sloppy and probably have it coming.
We learn. We grow. Loosen our clumsy bindings. Aid us. Necromancer dead. Changeling and tyrant remain at odds. Kill them. You have a place in my grand design.
The Elder Brain turned her into a meat puppet. What the hell else can it do? Expected with... Please, darling. You have the Vampire Ascendant on your side. How could we lose? Then we'd better make it count. You've never tasted so sweet, darling. All of that? And the stones didn't even work? I swear, this is never ending.
In theory, yes. You have resisted such a fate so far, and this would be a complete evolution. And you will be an illithid for the rest of your days. Is this really something you would be willing to accept?
Let's not be hasty about this. I think this warrants a more private discussion, away from that silver-tentacled illithid. So, we can't wield the stones unless one of us becomes an illithid? I hope you're not actually considering this. Oh, we still have other options. We could free the Gift Prince with the Orphic Hammer. Perhaps he'll have a bright idea. Just consider the alternatives before throwing away that beautiful face of yours. You're asking me? Oh, darling, I don't know. Flip a coin if you need to. Just don't you consider transforming. The tentacles won't suit you at all, darling. A bold move. It's a gamble. But if we play this right, it could work well for us. All right? Let's see how this plays out. I'm going to assume you meant that as a joke. I do not want you to transform into some slimy beast. We'll figure something else out. I'm sure of it. That is a risky move, but if you think it's the right one... I can't talk when we have a city to save, darling. At least the bits of it that are worth saving. Look at this place. From a symbol of the city's power and grandeur to a brain-infested husk. Maybe I should help fund the repairs when this is all over. It would be the civic-minded thing to do. And it means we could install secret tunnels, spy holes, maybe even a murder pit. Everything we'd need to rule from the shadows. But of course, with my power and your tentacles, how could we lose? Aside from my once beautiful lover turning into a monster. Oh, wonderful. I admit I'm a little torn. You are repulsive, but just think of all the power you can access. It's a compelling mixture in an ally. I do miss your pretty face, though. Ha! Oh, my love. You can't expect me to kiss that now, can you? No. Our kissing days are done. So let's focus on defeating the brain. Otherwise, this whole mess would have been for nothing.
There it is. The crown of Karsus. The site of power. The site of domination.
That's it! We have to use the nether stones on the crown. It's the only hope we have. I know you. I saw you in my dreams.
I know you. I know everything about you. Your thoughts, your feelings, your weaknesses. And so do they. There it is. The crown. The very thing that has been amplifying the Netherbrain's power. And the very place that we will be able to dominate it. That's where we should use the Netherstones.
Well, that's just disgusting.
There you are. The rat catcher that became alone. Murder incarnate. You are spectacular specimens. And you will make spectacular thralls.
Shut it out! It's on the precipice. Push it over!
Spare me. Join!
All right, it's time. Let's end this.
The brain is on the cusp of its final thought, and it's taking all of Orpheus's strength to keep it there. An opportunity, perhaps.
It can be ours, my love. The whole world. We only have to take it. What in all the sweet hells are you doing?
Together. Conquer. Rule. Command! In my name.
The wizard did it. He really did it. He blew up the brain. The tadpole. I can't feel it anymore. Well, thanks to that bomb of his, we're not going to turn into mind flayers! Of course, it did cost us a wizard. Poor Gale. Strange. I miss him. More than I thought I would. Of course, it did cost us a wizard, but, well, it was his choice. Victory. Our enemies are dust at our feet. We're free of that stupid parasite! And I'm free to enjoy all the power Cazador left me. And here I was, worried I'd become some grotesque, deformed beast. I would say no offense meant, but, well, look at you.
You were a worthy ally.
I'm glad the Gith Prince is taking his fate so well. I'd be devastated if I was that ugly. Well, that's a pleasant sight. Here's hoping they stay in their own plane.
I'm sure Mizora will summon me soon enough, but until then, I propose...
I'll see your reckless abandon and raise you unrestrained hedonism. What do you say? Because I think we've earned it. Yes. We should see if the, elf song's still standing. It's been so long since I had a fine wine, and we have more than earned it. You're joking. After everything we've been through, you expect me to do manual labor? Why stop at arm? There's a whole world out there. We just have to take it. True, we have served our respective purposes. We're free to go wherever we wish. It feels so good. Freedom. True freedom. Finally, I can feel my strength growing. Every day that passes, I gain new abilities. You know, now that our enemies have fallen, I might be the most powerful person in the world. And as you're my consort, that makes us the most powerful people in the world. And neither would I. Together, we can do anything. The world is ours for the taking. So, what would you like? Then you shall. We'll travel the lands together, tasting everything Faerun has to offer. Perhaps we'll find somewhere we'd like to stay for a century or two. Perhaps not. We have a beautiful, bloody future to look forward to, my love. I can't be sure what it holds for us, but I know one thing. This is going to be fun! My love, you always know the right thing to say. The world is ours for the taking. So, what would you like? Oh, darling, I love the way you think. We will need to be careful, of course. There are still powerful forces in the city. We can start slowly. Quietly charming and manipulating key figures, building up our network of puppets. Before long, we'll have our hands on every string in the city, and they will dance however we tell them to. My love, you always know the right thing to say. The world is ours for the taking. So, what would you like? Just when I thought I couldn't love you anymore. True. If he ever branches out from fighting the Infernal, he'd be a formidable threat. The Absolute may be gone, but others will rise against us. Maybe even our old allies. We may need a purge or two just to secure our position. Well, of course I don't want to, but if they get in my way, let's hope they have more sense than that. Anyway, taking power in this city will need to be a subtle process. We wouldn't want to spook the cattle, after all. It is indeed. We can travel the lands together, tasting everything Faerun has to offer. Perhaps we'll find somewhere we'd like to stay for a century or two. Perhaps not. Don't be stupid, darling. You're mine. Remember? The tadpole is gone, which means your future is mine to decide. How lucky you are that I chose you as my consort. Chose you to help me take Baldur's Gate, then sit by my side as I rule it. There's no backing out now. We'll be together forever. I can promise you that. We're free of that stupid parasite. And I'm free to enjoy all the power Cazador left me. And here I was, worried I'd become some grotesque, deformed beast. I would say no offense meant, but, well, look at you. Behold my tears. What do you say? Because I think we've earned it. How wonderful. But do try not to limit yourself. You've just saved the world. Now is not the time to become bored. By all means, go and live however you wish. As long as we don't get in each other's way, I'm sure all will be well. It's not so bad in the dark. Only about half the Baldurian sewers are active. The Underdark? Oh, you poor thing. I have a palace. You can sleep on one of 100 couches until you're on your feet. Such nobility and self-sacrifice. I thought a Mind Flayer might have a stronger sense of self-preservation than that, but, well, goodbye. True, we have served our respective purposes. We're free to go wherever we wish. What do you think you're doing?
You've butchered so many before. Each death a gift to your father. This one, you will take from him. This one is just for you.
It feels so good. Freedom. True freedom. Finally, I can feel my strength growing. Every day that passes, I gain new abilities. And you've changed too, of course. A different aesthetic, but with such power. A shame. I was looking forward to having you as my consort. But we can still be powerful allies. Oh, darling, please. I can't have something like this as my lover. The mechanics alone. No. A simple alliance is far more useful to us both. I can build up my power here in the light, while you lurk below in the shadows. Oh, don't be like that. You can't have thought we'd stay together. It would never work, sweetie. Not when I look like this. And you, well, you're monstrous. And it's so such a pity. Because you were beautiful. You would have looked magnificent ruling by my side. But just because you're a monster, it doesn't mean we don't have a glorious future ahead of us. So come on, darling. Let's show this world what monsters can do. Exactly my thought. Together, we can rule this city. And the cattle won't even realize it's happening. I'm offering you a chance to be useful. To be more than the monster you've become. I thought you'd be grateful. But if you won't accept my kindness, that's on your slimy head. It is a shame, though. You were something special. I'll never forget the person you used to be. The beauty I bedded. The warrior I fought beside. The hero that saved this city. The people may not appreciate you now that you're a grotesque freak, but I do. After all, you helped me attain perfection. I owe all of this to you. So, thank you. Now get the hells out of my city. Excuse me. These are the only games worth playing. But fine. You don't need my friendship. And I don't need you sliming around my palace. Excuse me. What plans? Lurking in the sewers? Feasting on rat brains? But fine. If you want to make your own future, have at it. And if you crash and burn, that's on your slimy head. I really thought the stones were going to work. Our options are getting slimmer and slimmer. I hope you're not actually considering this. Oh, we still have other options. We could free the Gift Prince with the Orphic Hammer. Perhaps he'll have a bright idea. Just consider the alternatives before throwing away that beautiful face of yours. Of course you will. And of course you're not. I wish I was surprised you'd volunteer, but I'm not. It's so perfectly you. All right, if we're going to do this, then let's do this. I'm fine with anything that keeps you from transforming into a mind flayer. Personally, I'd use the hammer and take our chances with Orpheus. I'm most willing to lose him. A bold move. It's a gamble. But if we play this right, it could work well for us. All right? Let's see how this plays out. I always dreamed of walking these halls, you know. My dreams never included a giant brain or smoldering ruins, but I'll take what I can get. Huh. I can't say. All I know is that by transforming, you've given us our best possible chance to survive this. Oh, as well as can be expected when facing down the end of the world. It's certainly different. It will take some getting used to. I admit, I did love the person you were, but I understand why you made this choice. Oh, actually, I think the last time we kissed was our last chance to share a kiss. No offense, but I mean, how would that even work now? I can't say for sure. But we've come through a lot already. It would hardly do to fail now. Then we'd better make it count. We'd better survive this, because I never want to stop doing that. I can't feel the tadpole. It's gone. We're free! Maybe whatever it changed in me was permanent. And we didn't even have to turn into mind flayers to do it. Sorry, I didn't mean to, well, you know. He seems to be taking his new monstrous form pretty well. Maybe he is worthy to be the Gith's prince. Now there's a sight to see. Not that I'll miss them.
I'm sure, Miss...
I'm not sure about, drink in hand, but I think we've all earned some reckless abandon. How about you? Any thoughts on what's next? Yes. We should see if the, elf song's still standing. I won't imbibe, but I'll be happy to be away from here. And in your company. I honestly don't mind what we do once we get to the... Ow! What the... Oh, no. Oh, God. Well, it was nice when it lasted. Ah! I'm sorry. I have to go.
It seems that's the end of Astarion's love affair with the sun. That'll be hard on him.
After everything, that's your suggestion. Aren't you tired? I'm tired. It would be good to travel. It's been so long. Kidnappings aside. Oh, you can't mean that. After all this... I can't feel the tadpole. It's gone. We're free! And I didn't even have to turn into a mind flayer to do it. Sorry, I didn't mean to, well, you know. Apologies. I just got swept up in, well, surviving. I'm not sure about, drink in hand, but I think we've all earned some reckless abandon. How about you? Any thoughts on what's next? Just remember who your friends are, will you? In case you start to become, well, you know, hungry. At this point, you've earned it. Just don't start any grand designs, and I'm sure we'll all stay friends. You are braver than I could ever dream to be. I hope we will meet again on a cloudy night. The Underdark is a, popular option. Just try to avoid the vampire spawn. I can't promise they'll be as friendly as yours truly. As long as you're not expecting anyone to follow you, I wish you all the best. Yeah. Though I have a feeling you'll be just fine. What are you doing? Stop it!
You've butchered so many before. Each death a gift to your father. But this one, you will take from him. This one is just for you.
Hello, darling. I was just thinking about freedom. How I'm free of Cazador. How I have a whole new life stretching out in front of me. And You're... well, what are you? Is the person I loved still in there? I'm glad. Although I'm not sure what the expectations are around, us. Do you still want to be together? As much as I want to, I'm not sure if I can. Maybe it's better if we're friends for now. You're precious to me, and I don't want to lose you, but this is a lot. Perhaps we'll adjust, perhaps we won't. But you mean too much for me to walk away. So would I. And I hope we can find some place for love in our new... whatever this is. But even if we can't, I'll never forget the person you were. I'll never forget what you did for this world. And what you did for me. Thank you, my love. Thank you. I don't know. It is a big change, and as much as I care for you, I don't know. Maybe it's better if we're friends for now. You're precious to me, and I don't want to lose you, but this is a lot. Perhaps we'll adjust, perhaps we won't. But you mean too much for me to walk away. A pity. Because we were rather excellent together. A love for the ages. I'll never forget you. I'll never forget what you did for this world. And what you did for me. No. I think you're right. It's probably best to leave things here. I see. And how does this newly evolved version of you feel about me? Do you still want to be together? Well, that's that then. This is nice. A little tame compared to one of my parties, but it has a quaint charm. I wasn't sold at first, but the forest is rather good for a get-together. You could scream bloody murder out here and no one would ever know. How lovely to see the others doing well. As long as they're not doing too well, of course. I will never get tired of seeing that face. Hello again, beautiful. I should take a tour, just to see what the rest are up to.
Is it you who paints the airbo? No more Amnian cheeses for you.
Not one juicy secret to be heard. Such a pity. Just the same old chatter. Does no one here get drunk and spill secrets? Perhaps I should stretch my wings again. Who knows what people are gossiping about?
Thank Mother Gith. The psionic projection is holding.
Oh, I simply must have this one. It's practically sanguine. Wither certainly knows his wine. Or resurrected an excellent sommelier. Well, they can't all be winners. Why is the night air always sweeter? It's such a rich perfume.
For this.
I have missed this place. And these people. Well, some of the people.
Good song, good company.
Withers can pluck wine from all over the world, but is there one bottle of fresh blood? This seems pretty red, but no, not even close. Rank. I'd take rat over this any day.
The whole gang is here. Wish I'd had time to polish up the horns.
Oh, boo. Minsk has not yet left the table, so this is still the